Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends. For another special feeding episode, this time we're going to be feeding a magical mythic I recently acquired at the Metal Mist Maze. And this, of course, is Glamhead. And Glamhead is a mythic, as I said. He's magical, he has wings, from the underworld, but he's still a superhero. He's also part of the birthday celebration that's going on right now. Unfortunately, we're not going to celebrate his open slots because he only has one of them, which means I'm going to be spending gems on that. Absolutely, no question. So let's find him a home. I'm not really sure why no, actually I do know why he wants to be with the ladies. But no, we're not going to be doing that. No, you can hang out with them. Okay, he rocks that electric guitar there, doesn't he? Okay, so where is he? He's right over here. And this is somebody we're going to rename. I got to tell you, I'm thinking of two names, but I'm going to let him grow up first. Alright, so this is Glamhead. He is a mythic. He is magical. He has an evolving trait. Let's check it out. He begins at rank 0, being immune to possession. Very, very useful indeed. At rank 1, he gains immunity to torture, which is outstandingly useful. Immediately, if you have no other cells of him, immediately rank him up. Save up the Ember right now. You gotta rank him up. Immunity to torture for a mythic is absolutely outstanding. And of course, at rank 3, he gains immunity to blindness. There are controllers out there in the mythic world, too many of them, that use blinding. So he has actually got some great stuff here to deal with other controllers. Immunity to possession, immunity to blindness, very nice. This is a really good evolving trait. Alright, let's take a look at his initial stats. Yeah, his strength isn't really very good. No, not very good at all. And his life is probably the worst I've seen in terms of the mythics. Very, very low indeed. However, he makes up for it in speed. He's not the fastest, but he's definitely fast. And that's what you're going to want him to do. Just wait until you see the skills and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Speaking of which, let's look at his initial skills. Love the way she twitch. Deals low magic damage to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on one enemy and itself. That's a 0-0, which means it has a 0 cooldown and a 0 stamina. So if you take all his stamina away, you activate his cooldowns, he can still do this one. Now he does have some skills that are 0 cooldown. So if he does use this, he can still do things, including this. He could just do this every round and mess with the other side. If there's only one enemy left, it's actually a pretty good strategy. Just keep activating his cooldowns if you know he doesn't have a 0 cooldown, and you pretty much have him under control. So there's definitely motivation to think about this in terms of your final spec. And then, of course, his eyes are as red as the sun. Applies curse to all enemies. Alright, that is a 0 cooldown. It does have stamina cost, but that's actually pretty good. It's not the kind of thing you want to spam because, curse is a torture effect with an increasing amount of damage. It has 3 stages. You really don't want to keep refreshing it. But this is actually kind of good, but he's got better. And of course, his special skill, Glamhead played guitar. Removes all positive status effects from all enemies, applies mega possession to all enemies. So that's all kinds of good, unless of course they're immune to possession, like he is. Metalisha has finally found a new guitar player for her band. She never thought she'd find a replacement for Metalhead, but Glamhead's quite the glow-up. Looks on point and riffs on fire. Okay, so he can play the guitar, or the broom in this case. But is he a match for Metalhead? Well, I mean, he's a mythic, so I guess the answer is yes. Alright, so let's get him to his final form at level 4. Alright, here's the two names that I'm thinking so far. I'm thinking Ace for Ace Frehley, and I'm also thinking Slash from Guns N' Roses. So that's the kind of two names I'm thinking of. I definitely want to stick with rock guitarists here, so if you have suggestions, try to keep it like that. Alright, so let's go to level 7, and his first skill. New skill. Are you ready, Keithor? Restores all cooldowns on one ally. Kind of useful, but you know, it's kind of supporty too, and that's not what I want him doing. Of course, I have to take it for now. All right, let's get to level 10 for the next skill. Tonight, I want to give it all to you. Deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, applies curse to one enemy. 0 cooldown. That's not too bad either, you know? I mean, the first one does give curse, you know, this one over here gives curse to everybody. But the thing is, this one does damage and then gives curse. I'd probably take this one, but we're going to have to see the way it comes out. All right, so let's continue to level 20. Oh, Black Betty. Deals low magic damage to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on one enemy, requires cooldown. All right, this is similar to the first one, only it does have a stamina requirement and it has a cooldown, but of course it doesn't activate your cooldowns. So it may be something you want to do. I think for the moment, I'll probably throw that in for there because I'm not going to use that. All right, so let's continue to level 25. Away to a blockbuster. Deals moderate magic damage to all enemies, applies curse to all enemies. So this one is an upgrade of this one. It does damage. It's actually less stamina, and it does have a 1-round cooldown. But this one, I think I'm probably going to keep it. You know, throwing extra damage in there is probably a good thing. And it is less stamina, so just throw it in there. Kind of useful. All right, so let's continue to, I believe, level 30. Are you ready, Keith? Oh, we got that one again. No. I don't want any more repeats. So let's just continue to level 35. Ballroom Blitz. Applies possession to one enemy, deactivates all cooldowns, and applies curse to one enemy. Gives one extra turn to itself. This one could be considered a little bit dangerous. There are ones like this. You know, some individuals in the past would possess somebody and then give them a damage boost, right? But if they resisted the possession, you just gave them a damage boost. In this case, you're applying possession, you're deactivating their cooldowns, which means they get all of their skills back. You're putting curse on them, and then you're giving yourself an extra turn. If they resist the possession, since you're getting an extra turn, you do have something you can do. You say, oh, that's a problem. Maybe you deactivate their cooldowns or something like that. Somebody pointed out something else to me in the comments when I talked about him, is what if you did this to somebody who had anticipation? If you get the possession down and you deactivate their cooldowns, curse them, and then get an extra turn, they're immediately going to act against the other team because you're getting the extra turn. Here's the thing. What if they resist the possession? That means you kind of don't have an opportunity to do something about that. So it is a dangerous skill, but you know what? It's a dangerous skill that I think I'm probably going to keep. And I think I could be doing this one. All right, for now, I'm going to do this. Of course, this is a single target one as well. All right, so let's continue. I do believe I have one left. Rock and roll. Applies curse to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on all enemies. So yeah, that's going in the front right there. All right, so it has a 3-round cooldown, but then again, you also have this one, not this one, this one here that gives you an extra turn, so you might be able to reduce cooldowns on it. So that's a good, we're just going to get him up to 60 now. We're going to go take a look and make sure we got all the skills we want. All right, not that one. And let's just go all the way over here. We'll get to 60. All right, and Keith Orr in his play there. He is a member of the band, right? All right, one more time. And then we're going to go in and we're going to make sure we got what we want. All right, so let's go on in. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's look over here on the right first. Obviously, I'm not parting with this one. This applies curse to one enemy and activates cooldowns on all enemies. So not dealing with that one, right? All right, now this one here, moderate magic damage to all enemies, applies curse to all enemies. Now I do have that other one that just does curse. There might be a motivation for taking that one instead. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Now, if this one over here, Oh Black Betty, if I was to substitute this one of course does low magic damage to one enemy, activates cooldowns on one enemy, right? It has a stamina cost, it has a cooldown. If instead I was to take this one, love the way she twitched, right? Does the same thing, except of course it's also going to activate your cooldowns. The thing is, it's a 0-0. 0 stamina, 0 cooldown. The problem is, of course, it activates your cooldowns as well, which means you could either do this one again, or, where is it? Didn't I put it in? Or this one. See, I would be able to use this one in the next round if it came to that one. It really depends. This is definitely something viable here. Now, especially if you came down to maybe there's only one guy left, you could just spam this every turn, activating his cooldowns while you're activating yours, and depend on your team to actually finish it. So I'm thinking that I might actually give that one a try. I don't think there was anything else here that I really wanted. This one here, Ballroom Blitz, applies possession to one enemy deck. I just have to keep that one. I just have, if for no other reasons, for shenanigans, right? So that, I think for the moment, this is what I'm going to go with. And I may change my mind after testing. This may be just a matter of, I want to test to see the way this works. Because, I mean, this isn't really a big giveaway here. Because, look, it does not a very damaging skill in the first place, right? And he doesn't have a good strength, and you're not going to put strength on him. So I'm thinking this might not be such a bad combo for him. And I'm going to begin with that one. All right, let's look at his stats at level 60. Yeah, his strength isn't really too terrific. His life, wow, I mean, we've seen like nearly 22,000 at level 60 with some individuals, and usually at least 20 or 19. So that is really low life. But his speed is very good. It's not among the best, but it's definitely very good. Very good indeed. And of course, he has an amazing evolving trait. The life isn't such a big deal if he's immune to torture effects. And if you get him to rank 1, he is. All right, let's take one final look at his skills, the one that I selected. Let's begin with this one. And I think everybody's going to take this one. Why not? Rock and roll. Applies curse to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on all enemies. The fun thing about this one, of course, is if you have an individual who is dodging group attacks, well, you can just target him for the curse. I mean, you can't activate his cooldowns because the second part is going to be a group attack, but you can give him curse, so it's not like you can't do nothing to him, right? So this is a very solid control right here. Cooldown activation is very good, although the thing about Mythics are, as he has himself, there are some very good 0 cooldown skills if the person configuring them has actually kept 1 or 2. You know what I mean? All right, and then we have this one. And this is where I do a little deviation from what someone would normally do. His eyes are as red as the sun. Applies curse to all enemies. So I picked this one instead of the one with the damage because it has a 0 cooldown. Because I very well might need that. Besides, he's not a damage dealer anyway. It's the curse you really want to give. And then we have Love the Way She Twitch. Deals low magic damage to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on one enemy and itself. So this is going to activate his cooldowns, but the thing is he can use this attack every round. And he can also use it if he has no stamina and his cooldowns have been activated. So really kind of a deadly skill, and if he does this, he can use this one, or he can go back and use this one, assuming he has stamina. So I'm just going to try that for testing and see how that works out. And then finally we have Ballroom Blitz. Applies possession to one enemy, deactivates all cooldowns, and applies curse to one enemy. Gives 1 extra turn to itself. This one could be dangerous, so you want to be careful with it. Because if the possession is resisted, then you just deactivated all the cooldowns and he has all his skills available to him. Yes, you gave him curse. That could be a problem. Fortunately, this does give him an extra turn, so if he has to do something, he can turn around and do that. But this one could be very useful, so I'm just going to keep that one. So he's got a lot of crazy little skills in here that make him kind of unique. And I can't wait to start testing with him. And I'm saying, you know, he might be in the next testing video and pushing Aztec aside as the main controller. Even though cooldown activation doesn't really work very well on the adventure map, I just kind of want him available as soon as possible. Either that or I'm going to have to push out 2 testing videos fairly soon. So what am I going to say in terms of runes? I'm going to say speed. Lots and lots of speed. Because activating cooldowns isn't very useful if something bad has happened to you. You want to get out in front. You want to be able to do things to the other team before they can do it to you. This guy is a controller, so that's what you want. You want speed on him. Another thing this guy actually has, he has some very useful relics here. These are very good if you have the gold versions here for stamina control on the other side, for taking him away when he attacks, and of course taking away when he gets hit. So yeah, he's a really good little package here of all kinds of interesting stuff. Now I may change those skills, but like I said, I'm going to stick with that for now and see how it works out. Anyway, this is Glamhead. He is really kind of good. Thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it, and play games because games are fun. See you.